So then we have the next backstage interview. I told you there was a lot of them. This one is with the Nasty Boys and Jimmy Hart, at which point one of the Nasty Boys says, "It's time we put an end to the stink and pink," referring, of course, to their opponents in their match coming up with who are the Hart Foundation. This is a tag title match. We also have the Hart Foundation backstage with Sean Mooney.
What I liked this bit, there is a bit at the end of it where one of the Nasty Boys blows his nose into Mean Gene's hanky and then passes it to the other one, and Mean Gene sells it, well, as if someone's actually blown their nose into it. He is horrified. He is absolutely disgusted and repulsed by the entire thing. Again, another Oscar-winning performance from Mean Gene. The charisma on that man is just unreal.
Mean Gene sold it like I was selling it when I was watching it, because it was disgusting. I think what happens is Sags, as you said, blows his nose, then he passes it knobs, he blows his nose, then he passes it back, and he blows his nose again, and then they stuff it in Gene Okerlund's pocket. It's horrible. It's horrible.
Yeah.
The thing that got me is you've got 3 out of 4 people being interviewed. Those 3 quarters are just shouting. Just wind it back, lads. And then I think, it's all right, Bret Hart's here, he's going to calm it down. And he says, "We don't think you're nasty, we think you're scum." I was a bit like, come on, Bret.
That's great
The
stuff.
Anvil's beard is incredibly tidy. Those are the main notes that I had.
Well, he sorted out for WrestleMania, hasn't he? I mean, he's gone in and had a special barber cut for his beard. So the match is, as I said, for the tag team title, Hart Foundation versus the Nasty Boys. This one goes 12 minutes after Sags hits Neidhart with Jimmy Hart's crash helmet, allowing Knobbs to get the pin on Neidhart, and we have new tag team champions. Tom, thoughts on this one?
I've got so much time for Jimmy Hart's helmet when he comes out wearing the helmet out of nowhere. And also, I tell you what, I'm no fan of the Nasty Boys, but I would wear the out that blazer that he's wearing, the airbrush pictures of the Nasty Boys on the back. It is amazing. Great work. The match is a pretty good tag match, to be perfectly honest. Again, the hot tag for Anvil's great. Bret Hart's selling is just out of this world. Like, he's so... I mean, I'm not going to need to convince you boys about how much I love Bret Hart, but he's so good in this match. But yeah, obviously, Jimmy Hart throws the helmet into the ring, and then that was a nice touch in it, actually, is that they hit Anvil, the helmet. Jimmy Hart then holds on to Bret Hart's leg, stopping him to get in the ring, which then causes the Anvil to get pinned and lose the battle. It's just a nice little reminder of the importance of managers, rather than just being a generic distraction chased around the ring to then clothesline the opponent, sort of usual trope that we get. He actually has a real effect on the end of the match.
Yeah, Jimmy Hart has, you mentioned his jacket, he has a different jacket for every single match that he's involved in this show, which is, it takes a special kind of dedication to one's craft, I think. Also, you mentioned Bret Hart selling, and I earlier on mentioned there are 2 people that I really hit home how good they were. Bret Hart, for me, during this match, secures his place in my mind as the greatest practitioner of offense. During this match, he is phenomenal on offense. Like, his punches and his kicks look entirely convincing, 100% convincing. Everything he does, the Russian leg sweep, is absolutely beautiful. And it's not something that I've not known, but it was the first time in my head where I acknowledged how phenomenal Bret Hart is, to the point where I'm willing now to say that he is the excellence of execution. He is the best offensive wrestler I've seen. I just think he is phenomenal. I really hit home during this match. He was just so good. I have to bow down. Brilliant.
To be honest, I can't really add a lot to that, so I'll just go the alternative route. Things that caught me off guard in this match: Jim the Anvil comes down to the ring in a pink beret, and also Macaulay Culkin's in the crowd, which is good to see him. And Monsoon says he doesn't want to be home alone with the Nasty Boys.
He certainly does.
Which I think is something that we can all get on board with. And to touch on Bret Hart, obviously he was crushed by this loss, and I do believe he goes to be a singles competitor pretty much immediately afterwards.
Yeah, that's why they had them drop the belts, basically, so Bret could pursue that singles career. The interesting thing about the Macaulay Culkin bit is that Gorilla Monsoon, I don't know if the line that you quoted is fed to him, because he doesn't seem to know who Macaulay Culkin is when he sees him in the crowd. He goes, "Oh, that youngster's enjoyed himself," and then immediately afterwards, almost rushed, he says he doesn't want to be home alone with the Nasty Boys, as if he didn't recognize who he was. I don't know. Maybe I'm doing Monsoon a disservice, but it does feel like he didn't know who he was. But yeah, I thought this was a good match.
The reality is that Monsoon at this point, he wouldn't have been taking Joey Morella to watch Home Alone at the cinema in 1990.
I like the idea that he would. I like the idea that he would take his son, fully adult son, to the cinemas to watch Home Alone. That would have been fantastic.
Getting back to Bret Hart, he'd been in the company 6.5 years at this point, and I could just. It made me think is that obviously it's a very different time because of like TV that they have now. But can you imagine someone waiting 6.5 years now to go solo and then having the success that Bret Hart had?
Yeah.
Imagine that. Go on, Bret.